In this video, I'll be looking at what we call titration curve. What do we need to know about titration curve for our UTME examination? You need to know that there is something called pH scale, and this pH scale is always plotted on the vertical axis. The pH scale is written this way. On the y-axis, we have to take note that our pH ranges from 1 to 14. So there are two possibilities of doing it. I may start from 14 to 1. I may start from 1 to 14. So let me start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, then 14. We need to note at this point that anything here is neutral, anything below here is acidic, anything above here is basic. How do we get the question right when it comes to UTME examination? What you need to take note of is this. If I want to do titration, an acid may be a strong acid, my acid may be strong, and my acid may be a weak acid. My base may also be a strong base, and my base may also be a weak. What do I mean by a strong acid? A strong acid is an acid that ionizes completely when dissolved in water, while a strong base is also a base that ionizes completely when dissolved in water. But when we say weak, they don't ionize completely, they only ionize partially when we dissolve them in water. So if I combine them, it is possible that in case 1, I may have a case whereby I will titrate a strong acid versus strong base. I may have a case whereby I will titrate a strong acid versus weak base. I may have another case whereby I will titrate a weak acid versus weak base. And I may have another case whereby I will titrate a weak acid versus strong base. How do we identify the correct graph or the correct curve during examination? I will use the 4 cases to explain. If an acid is a strong acid, we are going to have something that will look like this. We're going to have a curve that will stand for a very long time before it curves, such as this. For instance, if I have something like this, for instance, take note of something. Any graph you are given, try to cut the graph at the point 7, the neutral point, then trace the longer part. If you look at the length here and the length here, which one is longer? The acid region is longer. Remember, if you are here, you are acidic. If you are here, you are basic. If you are here, you are neutral. So the acid arm is long, the base arm is short, weak base. The acid arm is long, strong acid. Okay? What about if I change the graph? What about in a case like this? If I change the graph to look like this, if I have something of this type, and then I have my 7 to be here, and I have my 14 to be here, I have 1 to be lower part. You can see that once I cut the graph from 7, the acid region is short, the base region is long. What will you call this? A strong base versus a weak acid. Let's look at a case whereby both acid and the base, they are both strong and strong. If I will have such a curve to look like this. In this curve, the 7 will be exactly at the middle, long for the acid, also long for the base. This is strong acid and strong base, strong versus strong. What about a case whereby I have a weak cases? In the case of where both of them are weak, what we're going to have in that case is going to look like this. The graph will just be so sharp such that we're going to have the two of them to be short and short, like a curve like this, and the 7 will be here, such that when you take it, you will see that this graph curve away sharply and this graph also curve very well. So this is a case of a weak acid and a weak base.